This is Carrie and Summer with the Say My Name podcast that gives a voice to women's stories. It's my story, it's your story, it's our stories of pain and healing.
Betrayal doesn't begin to describe the knife that I pull out of my side. So I'ma put the past behind me, 'cause I got strength inside me, and a strength that I wanna share with you.
Welcome to the Say My Name podcast, part of the Say My Name project. This is episode 6, a conversation with Tiffany Jenkins from Juggling the Jenkins blog. Y'all, she is amazing. And in this episode, Tiffany shares her story of addiction, recovery, postpartum depression, her mission in helping women, and her amazing spirit of humor and honesty. Please check out her book, High Achiever, The Shocking True Story of One Addict's Double Life. You can find it on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, wherever you look, you'll find it. Please enjoy the next hour. You are going to cry and laugh and have an amazing time with us.
Thank you for being on the show. We really, this is huge for us. We're just barely starting out, and to have you be willing to take your time away. I know that you're busy. You've got lots of things going on, your family and your own business, and we just appreciate this time that you've taken to talk with us and share your story with us, so then we can share it with some people that maybe don't know you. They can get more exposure to you because we just think that you do amazing things. You make people laugh and you're vulnerable. You are 100% you. And that's why we have this crush on you in a way, because we absolutely love vulnerability and real. That's what we're preaching. Just be you. Be you. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, own it. And we just love that. You can see that in every single one of your videos, your book, all of it. So we appreciate that, and we want to honor you.
Oh,
so thank you
so much. It's my pleasure. Honestly, I think that anybody who's trying to make waves in the universe for the better and more positive vibes and energy out there to help people, I am all about it.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to do it, because I think it's great what you're doing, and I'd love to, be a part of that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, making it.
We want to hear your story. We know that your mom passed away, and that was a lot of why you kind of struggled. So kind of tell us a little bit about that.
Sorry. So attractive. What?
I have a margarita right here if you need.
Sorry. We can edit that, right? So
yeah. Oh, no, we're keeping it in.
Assaulted with my... Okay. So I was a super great kid growing up. I got good grades. I was cheerleader. Like those kids you look at and they're like, yeah, they're doing good in life. They're going to be somebody. That was me. My stepdad was a cop. I had a lot of structure. I had plans for the future. And I ended up, for some reason, my senior year, taking a sip of alcohol because I was around people who were doing it. And after that sip, it woke something up inside of me that I never knew existed. And 2 months later, I dropped out of school, and it spiraled downhill that quickly. And so I started taking drugs recreationally. And then it got to a point where I noticed I was feeling sick a lot more. And one night I called my best friend. And I'm like, I've never felt anything like this. It feels like the flu, but like a million times worse. And it came out of nowhere. And she's like, it's probably because you haven't done a pill today. Just do another one and you'll be fine.
Wow.
And so I did one, and it was just like that.
Wow.
All the pain I was experiencing immediately disappeared. And I was like, oh, wow, this was the night that I stopped using for fun and started using to keep that feeling of dying at bay.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom got really sick with cancer. At that point, I knew that I had some kind of dependency on it, but I still didn't comprehend addiction. So when I found out she was getting I was getting a trust fund from her. I thought that I should probably check myself into rehab so that I didn't spend the money on drugs. I didn't want to go to rehab, but I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And that's the difference. If you don't want the help, then you're not going to be willing to do whatever it takes to fight. So I relapsed on alcohol the night I got out.
So how long were you in?
28 days, which, I after 10 years of using, had I followed up with what I was supposed to be following up with, such as meetings and getting involved with recovery groups and stuff, maybe I would have had a shot. But for some reason, I thought I could sneak off, get clean for 28 days, and then come back to the real world and be fine and nobody would know. I didn't realize it was a lifestyle change. And to be honest, I was comparing myself to everybody else and I was not as bad as them. So I didn't think that I actually was an addict. I thought it was just a little speed bump and now I'm better.
And then
that's when things got really crazy in my life. I had spent a few months just drinking alcohol and smoking weed, but I hadn't done any pills, so I thought I was cool. I ended up meeting a police officer who wanted to date me, and I thought it would be perfect because I couldn't relapse on pills if I was with a cop. Like, it would be perfect for me to be with a cop. My stepdad was a cop, and that would be what I needed to keep me in line. But my addiction is stronger than my relationship status, so it didn't really care the career of my one. And it manifested itself. One day I was feeling weak, and I thought I could control it. So I won. And when my boyfriend did not realize that I was high that night, and I realized I could get away with it, it was off to the races. I could have my cake and eat it too. I could keep up appearances that I was doing the right thing and I had my life on track while having my fun time with my drugs. So I hid my addiction from him for 2.5 years.
And he had no idea?
Here's the thing. I feel like deep down, he had to know.
Right.
But I also believe that love is so blind, and sometimes you want something so desperately that subconsciously you block out red flag. If he did have an idea, something inside of him pushed it to the back. And until the point where I got so desperate, I was so lost. I was on this spiral where like I was living a double life. Every single morning I would wake up and my first thought is, how can I die today? I want to die. Because the reality of my life was so heavy and so dark. And I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. But then a few minutes later, my next thought would be, who can I get money from? Who can I connive, if that's the word?
Yeah.
Who can I manipulate to get money that I need? And how can I get drugs? And it was just a cycle. And I got really desperate for him to not find out the truth about who I was, because if he knew who I was, I would have lost everything. So I started taking things from around our home and pawning them. And, you know, all of the things that I did in order to keep up with my drug addiction eventually caught up with me when his coworkers started investigating the crimes at my house, and it all led back to me. So I was arrested out of my bed. Yeah, it was really trippy to go from having all these people be my friend for 2.5 years. I was in their lives.
Right.
It was all I knew. I was at their weddings and I was at their celebrations and we partied on the weekends together. They thought they knew me. And then in an instant, the way they looked at me was different. I was no longer their friend. I was just a junkie loser, criminal, you know, who they're cleaning off the streets. I could see it in their eyes. It was different, the way they looked at me. And it hurt so much because I was reduced to nothing at that point, and I felt like nothing.
What were your beliefs about yourself during that time then?
Oh, I thought I was just, I was born by mistake. I thought maybe I was never really meant to live a life, that somehow I had been brought into the world to live the life of an addict and fizzle out at a young age. It's weird because at the time in the interrogation room, I was still trying to keep up the lie, even though they had proof about me. But I had seen enough crime shows to feel like I could get my way out of this.
Right. I know what's happening here. I got this.
I've seen this.
Yeah. When they said, would you be willing to do a polygraph? I'm like, no, it's not admissible in court, so it's pointless next. Like on the case with Paula Zahn. But eventually, like, the weight of trying to keep the lie up was so heavy, and I just wanted to be free of it. So they gave me a bathroom break, and I was in the bathroom, and I was like, I'm done. I can't fight anymore. And so I walked out of the stall and I said, I'll tell you everything. And I did. I grew up with parents who partied. We had a tiki bar in our backyard. My mom was a bartender. I would go for visitation with my father on the weekends, and he would take us to the bar to shoot pool and listen to the jukebox while he drank. Like, it was just my upbringing. I didn't look at it as something that was horrible because it was all I knew. And so I just happened to stay away from it because my mom always preached that. So I thought she was just trying to kill my life buzz and, like no fun in this house. But so when I had no idea about addiction, man. Like I had taken DARE classes and stuff, but when I thought of addiction, I thought of like a dirty old man living under a bridge and breaking into your house wearing a burglar mask.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did not think in a million years that it would be me. And so when I took that sip, I had no way of knowing how the story was going to end. I was in that moment. But the moment that the alcohol touched my bloodstream and the world got fuzzy and I was no longer self-conscious or overthinking everything and overanalyzing everything, the minute that I felt a momentary relief, I wanted to feel that all the time. I didn't realize it, but I had been dealing with so many mental issues that had never been addressed because I never talked about them. So when somebody handed me my drug of choice, they didn't say, take this, but just so you know, it's going to destroy your life and ruin every relationship you've ever had. And it's going to turn you into a felon and it's going to make you want to end your life. Like they didn't say that because why would you? They said, try this, you're going to love it. Not knowing that there was a darkness inside of me. And so I took it and I did love it. And there was my downfall. I didn't have the education. We didn't have phones in our pockets back then. If there was anything I wanted to know, I had to run to the library and pop open a book.
Get that Encyclopedia Britannica out.
I wasn't. Yeah. And that's in no way to like take the blame off of me or anything. It's just a fact that things were different back then. Mm-hmm. Now you see the videos of parents overdosing, in their car with their kids. You hear about everybody dying. It's at your fingertips. But back then it wasn't for me. So I was living in the moment and not thinking through the consequences.
Well, and it sounds like it was self-medication as well. Like there was a lot of pain that you were, it felt good to numb that.
I was just going to say, I didn't even realize there was pain. Even in the beginning of my using, I didn't realize that I had issues of neglect and self-esteem and all of the, I didn't know I had anxiety and depression at that young age. I had no clue. So I guess, inadvertently was self-medicating, but at the time I just wanted to feel nothing. And that's what it did.
When you were in prison, what was the lowest point there? Like, what was your rock bottom?
Oh, it was way low. It was day 3 and my withdrawal was like in full swing. And I was laying in my bed, covered in my bed. I was laying on my plastic mat in my metal bunk, surrounded by strangers who were in different stages of withdrawal. And I would drift off to sleep after 3 days of no sleeping. I would drift off to sleep and I would be having this dream of, being anywhere but where I was. And a door would slam in the distance or an alarm siren would go off because of a fight and it would jolt me awake. And then the reality of I'm in jail. The whole town knows what a loser I am would hit me all at once.
Right.
And it felt like I was just pulling a blanket of like shame and depression up over my head. Like it just instantly washed over me and I couldn't cope with it. I couldn't handle the feelings. And so I made a decision to end my life. And for me, it wasn't like I want to die. I'm going to take the easy way out. It was like, I have to die and I have to die tonight because I cannot stand another hour in this body, in this life. And I was desperate to die. I wanted it more than anything. And I went through a million different ways in my head. And I was anxiously waiting for everybody to go to sleep so that I could carry out my plan because I was so ready to go. So ready to go. I didn't tell a soul because I didn't want anyone to stop me. I didn't too long about my family because I didn't want those thoughts to deter me from my plan. Like I had to go. And that was my lowest point. I don't know what you could just edit it out if it's too much, but I tied a sheet around my neck and was ready to go. And I sat down and started losing consciousness. And then all of a sudden this bright light and the guards came rushing in and they pulled me back and they found me. And I was so angry because who are they to decide that I should stay here if I don't want to be here? It's my life. And I hated them for it. And I spit at them and I kicked and they brought me down to suicide watch and medical. And I spent 3 days in a bubble. It was like an aquarium. Wow. And I was the show in a Velcro suit in the middle of a floor while officers circled around pointing and looking at the crazy girl. It was horrible.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Especially because maybe you knew some of them. Did you know some of those officers?
I couldn't see who they were specifically because they took my glasses from me. So I didn't try to end my life with my glasses. So I was blind virtually. Like my vision was horrific. So they took my glasses and I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. So I was blind and naked, and not that I didn't deserve it, but I had a lot of mental stuff going on and I didn't know how to deal with it. And in jail, unfortunately, they're not really into like fixing your brain. They just want you to hate your existence so you don't come back. You know?
Right.
They're not there to make it easy for me, understandably. So it was not easy.
And you were still withdrawing, right? At that point?
Yeah.
Oh.
In a weird way, it was better for me, I think, to withdraw in jail because I knew no matter what, I couldn't go get drugs. Whereas if I was home and the option was there, it might have been more tempting for me to escape and go get drugs when it got hard.
Right.
But I knew that I didn't have a choice in jail.
So did you relapse after that?
No. Last time I used drugs was the night before my arrest.
Okay.
November 26, 2012.
And then how long did you spend in jail?
120 days.
Wow.
And while I was in jail, once the fog of a lifetime of addiction started to clear, I remember day 9 was like the first day that I started feeling okay. A couple of days later was the first day that I belly laughed. And I know it sounds stupid, but I'm not joking. I had not belly laughed in probably 10 years. My cheeks hurt. It was so unfamiliar to me because I was so numb before.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember they wheeled in like this Hallmark movie. It was a Christmas movie, and it was a Christian movie. Nothing spectacular about it, but just the music and seeing the love on the screen. Like, I wanted to be outside so bad. I wanted to be by a Christmas tree so bad. Like, it was very weird. It's hard to explain. This is the first time I think I've ever said it out loud, but it was just watching that movie made me realize all of the things that I had taken for granted. And I'll never forget the feeling I had while watching that movie because I never cared before. Christmas was really rough. I woke up. Spending Christmas in jail is super weird because all I could think about was my childhood and my sister and I, and, you know, running down the stairs, excited to open presents. And then here I was, you know, being locked behind a cell.
Quite a bit different.
Yeah. And that day was pretty depressing for me. Even though I wasn't detoxing anymore, it had been a month, but it was depressing. And then the girls told me that I had a visitor, and I was so confused. Because nobody had visited me, put money on my books, nothing. And so I ran to the visitation room and I saw my dad's face on the screen. And sorry, I don't know why I always get emotional at this part. I don't know why. It happens every time. I can hold it together for everything except
we like crying. You're good.
My dad told me during that call that he loved me no matter what, and that nothing I could do could ever change the way that he felt about me, and that he had faith in me, that I could get my life back, and that he would love me until I could love myself again. And I never thought that anybody would ever love me again. So seeing his face and hearing him emotional, saying how much he loved me was exactly what I needed to live. I took that little bit of hope that I got from him, the hope that I'm not a complete monster, the hope that I'm still capable of being loved. And I took that and I held on to it with all of my might. And that is what fueled my journey to change. He also informed me that he had gotten clean 15 days before my arrest. So now, desperately more than anything, I wanted to be able to get out of jail and go to meetings with my dad. So that's all it took, was somebody saying that they loved me. That's what made me want to change.
Yeah. Because even in prison, you said that there's no real human contact. Just even a slight touch was so heartwarming for you because there was not any opportunities for you to feel like a human being worthy of being loved or seen or looked at like a valuable person.
Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to touch or hug or anything. There's no colors. There's no music. It's just a very gray existence. And so to see a familiar face, first of all, I can't explain what that felt like. And then to hear him saying, there's nothing you could do to make me stop loving you, was like, because it was the first interaction I had had with family. It was the first person to tell me that they haven't given up on me. And so
it gave you hope.
Yes. And, I had also found out that he had been diagnosed with cancer. And I was like, I am going to get out of here and make some sober memories with my dad before it's too late. And it just drove me. It drove me to make the choice to go to rehab after jail. And I went straight for the rehab, picked me up from jail. I did not want to step foot out into the real world. I wanted to go straight to rehab because jail physically keeps you away from the drugs, but it doesn't do anything to help you with your mental health. So,
right.
And that was one of the smartest decisions I've ever made.
But you even had some struggles in there at first and felt like you wanted to leave.
Yes. I tried to run away one time, almost. I was telling my therapist parts of my story and she didn't believe. She thought I was fabricating it or embellishing it. I don't know, for attention or something. Because obviously, addicts, we tend to stretch the truth and we're not always the most honest people. But it was very strange to me that for the first time I opened up about what I had done and it felt like I was being rejected.
Oh, the irony is crazy.
Yeah, and it made me really recoil and shrink back into my secret bubble.
Because it probably took a lot. It probably took a lot just to tell her the story.
It did, yeah. Because I hadn't dealt with the shame or the guilt yet. I hadn't done any steps, so it was kind of just me opening my mouth and blurting out my truth. And it was the first time that I had never held back and just admitted everything. And because it was met, with, I don't know what you would call it. It was met with a less than understanding response. Sorry, I was plugging my phone in.
Yeah.
So I tried to run away, but the one who's now one of my very best friends who worked there ended up stopping me and convincing me to come back in.
And then that therapist was replaced.
He was, with an angel from above.
Good.
Yeah. So tell us about that. What was it like coming up and out of going from jail to where you are now? Like what's some of your aha moments, like your biggest aha moments where it's like, wow, okay. Now, even like kind of seeing why you chose the route that you went with drug addiction.
Yeah. So when I was in rehab, I had been in a meeting and there was a man, he was much older. And I mean, I'm talking, he had an oxygen mask on.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, I've been clean for, 5 months and I've missed everything in my life.
Wow.
Everything. He said, I have grandchildren I've never met, kids I haven't talked to in 10 years. I swear he was looking right at me. And he said, I would give anything to have gotten it when I was your age.
Yeah.
Because you are young enough to have an incredible life. I can't go back and get those years back.
That gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. But you have the opportunity to create something. And it felt like I was struck by lightning. Like nothing had ever made more sense in my life than what that man said. And that, to this day, is what keeps me going. It's true. Like, I had an opportunity. I was in my 20s. Like, I didn't have to be on an oxygen tank wondering what the heck happened in my life. Like, I could have a life. And so that stuck with me. And that was my first aha moment in rehab. Also, I had a choice. I could go live with my father after rehab and go to meetings with him stuff, or I could go to a halfway house. I knew I was ready for a job in the real world, but I wasn't ready to be completely on my own. I still needed accountability. Like, I didn't want to jump head first. I wanted to tiptoe in because I had so much left still to learn about the real world and how to navigate it without the use of drugs. So I made the decision to go to a halfway house, and that was the second smartest decision of my life because that is where I met all of my best friends. And I was able to get used to working and doing chores and saving money and everything without being high, but surrounded by safety.
And that's where you met your husband, right?
Then I met a guy. I did. Like, I had been in the halfway house for 2 months, and I finally earned an overnight pass. And I, of course, used that pass to see my super cute hunk of a boyfriend have a sleepover. And it was super, like, they knew what I was doing, but you're not supposed to, like...
Fraternize?
Okay. Thank you. So I did. I had an overnight pass. One overnight pass.
Wow.
And 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. That's it. I'm not kidding. That's it. Like one overnight pass. And
Wow.
I was like, what? I was terrified. I couldn't understand it. I'm like, I have a garbage bag worth of belongings to my name. I just lost my job. I have no car, and I'm living in a flippin' halfway house. What do I have to offer a child? Like, what is happening? I knew physically how this happened, but I didn't know, like,
Had the universe figured this out.
And I was really nervous, and I didn't know what to do. And I said a prayer, to the universe, to whoever, to my higher power. And I said, listen, if I'm meant to have this baby, then you need to give me the strength, because I'm having trouble finding it, and I'm terrified. And suddenly I wanted the baby more than anything. I don't know. I wanted the baby so bad. I told the guy, he was thrilled for some reason, which is so weird, because he should have ran in hindsight, but he stuck around. And I fought really hard to get a job and get a car. And when I was 7 or so months pregnant, I moved out for the first time of the halfway house and with him right before the baby was going to come. And my son was born on my birthday.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy. Wow.
It's so crazy. Out of all the days, he was born on my birthday. It was the coolest gift. I knew it was meant to be. We moved our little tiny 2-bedroom rat-infested apartment. And when my son was 6 months old, I found out I was pregnant again. And
Holy cow. Very, very fertile. Very fertile.
Yeah, fertile myrtle, for real. And so then I had my daughter. And I went through some postpartum depression with her, because she was really colicky and she had acid reflux, and all she did was scream. And I was having a lot of trouble bonding with her. It's really hard to bond with something that's screaming. When its eyes are open, it's just screaming at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. So I was like, man, I don't want to be a mom anymore. I can't do this. I resented my kids for existing. Like, their voices were like nails on a chalkboard. So I called my doctor and I'm like, hey, can you come get my kids? Because I don't want them. I don't want them anymore. And he's like, get in my office right now.
Right.
And he had a conversation with me about postpartum depression, and he talked to me like he had this conversation a million times before, just boom, boom, rattling stuff off. And it's because postpartum depression is unbelievably common.
Yeah.
I actually saw you just did, I think it was recently, you did a post on that, kind of promoting a business that helps with that. Is that right? I watched it and I thought it was beautiful, because really women we feel like there's something wrong with us if we're having those feelings towards our children. And I just thought it's amazing to just bring more and more awareness to, like, this is a common thing for a mother to feel, and that it is important to get help. And I think that's bold of you to have called your doctor. Because there's people that don't, and they do, unspeakable things to their children where it's like, what, why did they do that? But it's like, you get to a certain place with that depression. And so that's a bold move for you to have done that with your doctor.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. There's different variations of postpartum depression. There's postpartum psychosis, where you have hallucinations and, just go off the rails, and you feel like the only option is to rid yourself of the children. Women have ended their lives because of it.
Yeah.
The whole thing is nobody wants to admit, hey, I don't like my kids.
Right.
Hey, husband, you shouldn't have had kids with me because I'm not a good mom, because I don't want to be a mom. There's so much shame. And that was my thing. I didn't want to tell my husband because I thought he'd regret having kids with me. I didn't want to tell anybody, because then they'd be like, what the heck is wrong with you? So I kept it secret for a while. But the moment I reached out and told my truth, and I gave my kids the greatest gift, and that was a mom who is capable of loving them. And so that's actually what started my blog.
Really?
I love that. Really?
Yeah. My bonus daughter came to live with us 2 weeks after my daughter was born. So I went from being like a single to married mother of 3 in like 2 years. And I had all these emotions and all these feelings. And everywhere I looked on social media, everybody looked so perfect. And I was like, dang it, something's wrong with me. Like, I don't look like any of these people. So I just, I started writing the truth about my life. And it was shocking to me to be putting it on paper and admitting some of the stuff. But the more honest I got, the more people gravitated towards me.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that is such a universal truth, is that people, they resonate with that vulnerability and with that rawness because they're experiencing the same thing. And all kind of the presentation of what people think that other people want to see, you know, is no one resonates with that. Not truly.
Right.
And
Right.
so, you know, the other question is, because you're changing the landscape of womanhood, really, and motherhood, you're changing the world, like one video blog at a time. What else is in your plans? How do you want to change the world from this platform now?
I've become really passionate about making sure people know they're not alone. I don't care what it is. There's nothing better than feeling like you're not alone. When you have a revelation that this thing that you've been keeping secret or that has wreaked so much havoc in your life because you feel so different, and then you see somebody saying, hey girl, me too. It's like, it validates your existence. It's like, okay. And so that's what I've become passionate about. All of my videos and stuff, instead of just like ranting about being a mom, I try to put a message in there, like, that lets people know they're not alone. My next step is I'm getting ready to go on tour, actually. And not like a Michael Jackson tour, like I just want to meet as many people as possible and hug them and look them in their eyes and tell them that they're amazing and let them know that I'm here. You know, I try my best to reach out to every person that reaches out to me, but the emails, I'm getting 30 to 70 a day. I can't keep up with them. It's impossible. I'm honored and so grateful. But I can't.
Wow.
So I figured, like, maybe me coming to your town and just like shaking your hand and being like, yo, I hear you.
Yes.
And I love you, dude. And you know what I mean? We're all in this together. That is my goal. I'm good. The tour isn't going to be just me up on stage preaching. A very small part of it is going to be, and then the rest of it is going to be Q&A. People standing up, asking questions, talking, sharing in the audience experiences, and then afterwards a meet and greet. And I'm super stoked.
I love it.
That is so amazing. So do you have like dates? Do you have any, information that we can, talk about on the podcast today?
Well, it's super preliminary.
Okay.
However, we have 2 pilot dates coming up because they first want to make sure that I'm not going to blow it because they know that I'm sure that's not how they're wording it, but
That's how you interpreted it.
right. That's exactly how I interpreted it. I have super crazy, weird anxiety about things, about people, about being in a place other than my house. I get really anxious, and so they know that, which is why I turned down the tour idea for 4 months because I didn't think I'd do it. So we're going to try it out first and make sure that I don't completely lose it. We're going to try it out in, I believe, I don't want to, but Minneapolis first, and then Columbus, Ohio, which is super random.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why we're going there.
You should be doing
But they
Phoenix.
picked it.
You should do Phoenix.
And then,
Phoenix.
I know. You know what's so crazy? Which this has nothing to do with anything specifically that we're talking about, but I just got an email from a tattoo shop, like Wookiee Tattoo or something. Do you know of them in Phoenix, Arizona?
Wookiee?
Wookiee?
I got to double check the date, but I think it's September 15th. They are having a thing where they're doing $40 suicide mental health tattoo.
Oh, wow.
Semicolon tattoos. The guy's going to try to break a world record. They're going to be passing out pamphlets and information about suicide prevention and stuff like that. And it's in your town, and they wanted me to share about it. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to?
Yeah, heck yeah, we'll share.
Yeah.
I forget the question.
Yeah, me too.
I know. I forgot.
There's more dates, so
Oh yeah, the tour.
If that goes well, then I'm going to do like 25 tour dates.
That is amazing.
I'm so excited, but I'm not going to be like on a bus touring. I'm going to be flying out each weekend because I can't leave my baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. But honestly, I'm just taking it day by day. Every day, something wonderful happens. Another door opens, another opportunity comes. So I try not to plan too far ahead because wonderful things are always happening.
Yes.
And so I'm just riding this wave while it lasts. Eventually, people are going to get sick of hearing me. And so I want to just enjoy it while it's here and ride it while I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best place to be. You have to be present. Just, that's exactly what Summer and I are doing with this podcast. We're just enjoying each step that goes along the way. We have all these big, amazing ideas that we want to do with it, but we're just enjoying each and every step. So it's fun.
It's so awesome. Podcasts are taking over the world and like it's the new thing. People love driving and listening to podcasts and falling asleep to podcasts. And so if there's a podcast to listen to that's helping you feel like you're not alone and that's helping you feel strong, there's nothing better. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really excited. And we do have to remind ourselves like dial it back, just live right now today. Because we're like, and then we could do this, and then this could happen, and then we could do this.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be on Oprah. Oh, wait, Oprah doesn't have a show anymore. Then we're going to be Oprah. And then
that's good though. It is good to speak it out into the universe. Like I have dream boards, and everything that I put up on the dream board is coming true every day, and it's because I believe it. And I feel like the universe makes it happen because I believe it. So it's good to imagine going on Oprah.
Oh yeah,
I'm still holding out faith that one day Ellen's going to call me. Dang,
I know.
You know what? We could all three of us could do Ellen together.
Yeah, I'll be like, can my friends come?
Could you please be like, you know what? I want to come, but I've got these other friends, and they have to kind of come too.
I got my bitches, so
yeah. Could my bitches come? That'd be great. Yes. Of course she's going to call you. Of course you're going to be on Ellen. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
there's no
done.
question.
It's already done.
Yeah.
Why is that like making it though? You know what I mean?
I know.
Everybody's like,
I know.
Once you're on Ellen, your life is over. You could just check out. Like, that's it. That's the ultimate bucket list for some reason. I don't know why. It just is.
I think it's because she's such a cool person.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's such an honor. It's such an honor to be recognized by her, even though she does have some like kooky internet fads on there. Do you remember those two girls that had puffy skirts on?
Yeah, Olivia Grace and something.
Yeah,
they're from like they have accents.
Yes, exactly.
They wanted to meet Nicki Minaj.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, if we can be as popular as those guys, come on, we're trying to make a difference here. Maybe if we wore puffy skirts.
If you just keep being relatable, you got it. Like I have no idea how any of this happened. There's nothing special about me. It's not like I'm better than anybody. Like I'm just me. I think it's the honesty that draws people in and just being real.
It is. Yeah.
And that's what gets you places, man. So I think you guys are doing great. Just keep being you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that is
great.
That's one of the things that we talk about too, is we don't want to be unique. There's something unique about us. We want everyone to feel like, if they can do it, maybe I can do it. If she can say it, maybe I can say it.
Wow.
We don't want to be unique or authorities on anything.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Can I just tell you that really quick? Like I've never heard anybody say that. We don't want to be unique. Like, I love that so much because I think that's what everybody tries to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're willing to just be like, there's nothing super special about us, but we're awesome if you want to come over.
Right, totally.
We'll let you hang out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point of all this, is just to expose that we are all the same. We all have the same struggles. We all have the same stories that might be a little bit different, different labels on it, but we're all the same. We're all the same, and that if we can be more open and we can take our masks off and we can be more vulnerable about what we have struggled with, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. There shouldn't be shame around it. It's just your story, and there's other women that can relate to it, and you can be able to come together as a group and be able to empower each other, not bring each other down. And it's amazing. And the more that we share, we're starting to see women come out of the woodworks with, oh my God, that's happened to me. I did that. I've experienced that. And it's just like, it's out of control how many women have our stories are not unique. So that's what we want to expose, is that we aren't unique. We don't have these like crazy, insane stories. There's millions of women that have experienced it. So let's all come together and strengthen each other through it.
And we're certainly not authorities. We're just willing to.
We're just
be
having
exposed.
fun doing it. It's fun. This is fun because we love seeing like the healing that happens when women feel safe to be able to talk about it. And we just, like I said in the beginning, we love how raw and vulnerable you are. And that's like, we need more women like that so that others can feel safe to be able to do that as well. And talk about it like it's, it's just, this is just like what I ate for breakfast this morning. So, and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think there is a movement happening. I absolutely do.
Love it.
So, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you. No, you. No,
you.
No, your turn.
You first.
I was just going to say, I didn't know if anywhere on there you wanted me to mention like how long I have clean now or something before I forget, because I always forget to put that, because people are like, okay, well, how long ago was it?
2 months ago.
I've got 5 hours clean and life is good.
And you can too.
But I am like, each week I'm posting a story of somebody else who has overcome kind of adversity.
Love that.
Well, everybody was so inspired by my story. And I can only tell my dang story so many times.
I know. Right. Yep.
So I'm like, give me yours and I'll share yours. It's all kinds of stuff. Self-harm, abuse, domestic, stuff like that. Addiction, alcoholism. And the more and more these people share their truth, the more that people realize, like you said, we're not alone. Like all of us have something. And I think that our truths not only help us immensely, but they help everybody else too to see that that's on. So I just am so grateful for the opportunity to be able to, try to put good in the world. I put so much negativity and darkness out into the world through my actions. So to be able to put good out is the ultimate gift for me. And I don't want to waste the second chance.
Yeah.
So how long have you been sober?
Oh, thank you.
I know. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat.
November will be 6 years.
Oh,
amazing.
that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Oh,
Crazy.
that is so amazing.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me brag about that while I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to infiltrate into a conversation. So if somebody asks you, then you can be like, yeah.
Actually,
I'm kind of a badass.
I'm just kidding.
So that you make it rain with all your 1 year coins.
That's right. Making it But every day, and it could all change tomorrow because I'm still an addict. Like I can't take a pill today without ending up eating food out of a dumpster in a month. That's just how quickly. So each day is a gift. And, I'm coming up on 6 years. Doesn't mean I'll make it there. But today, I'm not. So.
Well, I'm just so grateful that you took the time to talk with us. Oh,
We have a game we want you to play with us.
yes.
I love games.
Good. With everybody that we interview, if we interview them in person, they have to do a game with us in person. So like the last girl that we interviewed, we put bananas in our butts. Like we were close.
Not in our butts. Not inside.
You just clench your butt cheeks.
Interview is it?
Okay, you're gonna have to watch our banana challenge.
You're just gonna be disappointed that you weren't here in person to be able to experience an in-person game.
I'm already disappointed.
So it's fully clothed. It's PG, maybe PG-13. Yeah, but so it was a race. Who could hold the banana between their butt cheeks and walk to a certain distance and back? And she cheated. So
I did not cheat. I won.
little bit.
She cheated
A little bit.
But we got the idea from there's a game show in China, I think it is, and these guys dress up in white kind of romper / jumpsuits and do crazy things. So there was they had a little section of them shuffling their feet around these cones. And I was like, what in the world are they doing? And then when they turned around, you could see that there was a banana that they were trying to hold
in their butt cheeks.
Butts. And
you're
so of course we have to do.
We're doing and I challenge you.
So unfortunately, we can't do that with you, but we did pick a game. We're going to do.
Yes,
have you ever played Would You Rather?
Yeah.
So we picked some questions to ask you.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
Good.
Okay. Good. So I just have to find the ones that we liked. We're going to start with some easy ones. We'll get harder. Okay. Would you rather spend the day wearing wet socks or spend the day with a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth?
Wet socks.
Okay. Would you rather wear a push-up bra all day or stilettos all day?
Ew, push-up bra.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers or Justin Timberlake?
Oh, I thought we were talking about food. I'm like, Justin Timberlake. Oh, that's hard. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, me too. Would you rather wear someone else's dirty underwear or use their toothbrush?
Oh!
I already
insane.
know the answer to this. Please do not pick the other one because that's disgusting.
Which one isn't disgusting?
I know.
Both of them are. What do you mean?
But one is worse than the other.
Which one would you choose if you had to?
You know
Do I
what?
know the person?
I was just gonna say you gotta know.
Oh,
is it? No, you don't know the
it's
person.
a stranger
Yeah.
I'll just brush my teeth with
Yes.
with their
Yeah.
toothbrush.
Brush teeth. Oh, that's disgusting. I would never wear somebody's
I'll brush
dirty
with
underwear.
bleach.
You have no access to bleach.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's a rough one.
Yeah, that
I know.
one's bad.
Would you rather eat poison ivy or a handful of wasps?
Oh! Oh my gosh!
Wow, that's horrible.
I guess. Wait,
Poison
to
ivy.
eat a handful of wasps?
Yeah.
Both. Eat
Poison ivy.
Eat poison.
Poison ivy. Okay.
What? You'd pick wasps? Why
I
are you
don't
so
know.
surprised?
I think they're both awful. I don't know. Would you rather crap yourself once a year in public or every day in private?
Oh my god! Wait, what was that again?
Would you rather crap yourself once a year in public or every day in private?
Once a year in public.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's brave.
that's a lot of mess to clean up every day.
Yeah. How many underwears and clothes? would I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd have to borrow someone else's.
That one's
And
good.
wear
I
like-
like, I like
Okay.
number 27.
Oh, she likes number 27. Would you rather have vaginas in your armpits or an armpit between your legs?
Oh! Vagina's in my armpit.
Okay. I know. The more the better is what I'm
You
saying.
got
I'm
two.
not really in the mood today, babe. I'll just go ahead.
Let me just yawn for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret? Now we're going to bring it down.
Ooh.
Fulfill your biggest
My
wish?
biggest regret is not having braces, and that's not that. My biggest wish is having straight teeth. So that's what I'm saying.
So it's the same thing.
Kidding.
It's a win-win. Either one.
Okay. And the last one. Would you rather die by a zombie attack or a shark attack?
Zombie.
Okay. Oh, that's actually not the last one. The last
Right.
one is, would you,
Right.
oh, this is your favorite one.
Oh, this
too.
one I like. I'm going to ask this one.
Would you-
you rather have a 10-inch long belly button that swayed to music or an accordion?
Sorry. What?
Or,
or accordions?
No, whatever the other one is.
okay.
I'm just kidding. What is it?
Accordions for legs. I kind of like the belly button. I think I would rock that.
Things up. Does it play music when you walk?
Yes.
It's still I'm picking that one.
It sways to music.
The belly button one does.
Yeah.
You pick the belly button?
She would. Yeah.
Yeah. I
would
could
pick
rock that
accordions.
shit. Like, you know.
Legs are convenient. Legs
Yeah.
are convenient.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it'd be kind of cool.
Can you picture it?
Yeah. Totally.
I'll have the 10-inch belly button. You have the accordion.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Then
Your
we
belly button can dance to her music.
totally. Yep. And then we could be on Ellen.
Oh.
Full circle.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, Tiffany, thank you again. Can we be best friends?
Yeah.
I thought we were.
We are. Yes. I mean, just confirming. I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
we're going to come. You're in Florida, right?
Yeah, actually, I have a U-Haul headed to your house now. I'm moving in.
Excellent. Yes. Okay, good. We'll turn down the bed for you. We'll get the wasps and the poison ivy ready. I'll put my toothbrush out beside your bed just in case.
Or my dirty underwear.
I would like you to sing
can
me a
pick.
lullaby with your accordion legs.
Done.
Please. I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we love you so
Amazing.
much.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a
Love.
great night. Hugs to your babies.
All right, thank you. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Bye, Tiffany.
Bye.
Bye.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.